Lesson 2.5, Evaluating Absolute Value Expressions. Evaluate each absolute value expression if x equals -3, y equals 5, and z equals -2. So we are going to be replacing variables with the numbers given and then solving the expression. So keep in mind, whenever we're solving expressions, we're going to want to use PEMDAS in order to get our answer. So even though there's absolute value lines in these problems rather than parentheses, they kind of are the same type of thing. We're going to want to work inside our absolute value lines first, just like we would do our parentheses first with PEMDAS. So 12 minus -3 minus 5 plus -2. All right, so if I'm working inside my absolute value lines first, I know that -3 and -5 make -8. So I'll bring everything else down. Now, since I've just got one number left in my absolute value bars, I can change that to a +8 and again bring everything down. Now I've just got adding and subtracting, so I just work from left to right. 12 minus 8 is 4. 4 plus a -2 is 2. So my answer for the expression is +2. All right, next one. We have -y, so -5. Plus x, so -3, minus 3 times a -2. So -5 and -3 make -8. I've got just one number left in my absolute value bar, so I can take the absolute value of it. The absolute value of -8 is 8. -3 times -2 is +6, because a negative times a negative makes a positive. And then I can add 8 and 6, and I get 14. All right, same thing, except this time x equals 4, y equals 2, z equals -1. So 20 minus z, which is -1, minus 2, plus 2 times 4. All right, so inside my absolute value bar, I have a -1 and a -2, which makes -3. Bring down the rest of my problem. Absolute value of -3 is 3. Bring everything down again. Now if I follow PEMDAS, I've got multiplication and subtraction and addition. So multiplication happens first. And then I add and subtract from left to right. So 20 minus 3 is 17. 27 plus 8 is 25. All right. So then I've got a -x, so -4 plus z minus 5 times y. So -4 and -1 make -5. Absolute value of -5 is 5, and then -5 times 2 is -10. 5 minus 10 is -5. All right, this time we've got a little bit more complicated problem, but we can still take the same steps we did on the first few. So -6, so y is 7. Okay, lot going on here, but let's still follow PEMDAS on this one. So let's start by working with our with our absolute value bars. So we've got multiplication and we have subtraction. So -2 times -2 is +4. So now instead of 7 minus 2 times -2, I've got 7 plus 4. Bring everything else down. 7 and 4 make 11. And I'm also on this one going to work with my -2 and -7. So -2 and -7 make -9. So now I've got my absolute value bars down to just one number, and I have my parenthesis down to just one number. Now, what operation is happening between the -6 and the absolute value of 11 is actually multiplication. So -6, or a number next to absolute value bars, means multiply. So the absolute value of 11 is 11, so I'm going to do -6 times 11 plus 5 times -9. So now I've got two sets of multiplication going on. -6 times 11 is -66. 5 times -9 is -45. And then if I add those together, they're both negative. I have 111. There's no essential question on this one, so the notes are done.